So, speculations on what the ideal type, girl would be for me. So, I pretty much had it narrowed down to just like INTJ and ESTP, but of course you want to leave all your options open, but just based out of the experiences I've had with being totally open-minded towards the whole thing. It seems like it should be, or I was thinking it should be one of those two. But I don't even think it should be INTJ because just the J, like wanting to have like a certain foothold of control over what's happening and like knowing specific times that you're going to be doing stuff and like I don't know, it seems to be like a huge preference towards like not ironically how they look kind of in a way, even though you wouldn't, but not really, just being able to give a certain perception as to like be seen as in charge, if that makes sense. Like there's a lot too much Capricorn there, I guess, or too much like 10th housiness. Too much like, not to say there can't be like a 12th housey INTJ, but my experiences it's so far, which granted they're rare, or they're thought to be a more rare type, but yeah. Plus, it's either ESTP or I just still... It's not like I think from other people's point of view, I might be insecure because they're thinking about it in terms of, you don't think you're good enough right now or something like that. And I'm like, no, there's a lot I want to accomplish. There's a lot I want to do, and that would be part of the reason that I would, want to get with a TJ, like an NTJ anyway, is because they would be looking at the long term and setting up goals and, working towards something. But it seems like inherently the kinds of goals that they set or make, clash with mine. So, and, like, I have really, like high standards of what I'm trying to accomplish or really like trying to do. And it's much, like so much so that I'm willing to put, kind of more, things on the back burner that other people would want done like immediately, like right now. And like for instance, like it's a goal, like I'd like to be like, as fit as Goku is and like, super fucking muscles and Super Saiyan and shit. But like, if you really are talking about like healthiness, that's not actually, it wouldn't be health, like in certain ways, it might appear healthy, but you're putting a lot of strain on your body to get to that point to begin with. But you might be able to ride, like, you might technically have like lower blood pressure and all that, but that's probably due to you having the increased confidence and less stress in your life, not the actual, like, because, you know, you can have a heart attack working out too hard, you know what I mean? Like, so, you know, so you want like a moderation. And, you know, I'm sorry, if you're only caring about, like, you know, how much I can bench press, you know, sorry to disappoint you. It's not a really, you know, huge number, as of right now. But what I would like is someone to, you know, make a plan to be able to exceed even, like, you know, the world's strongest man, and, like, set up a plan to where, like, we get the resources to where, like, you know, we, in a healthy way, exceed all of that, but it taking time. It's something you have to actually, like, work at, not, like, immediately right off the bat. But I know that kind of goes against what I was saying of, like, it's right, you know, right now, or, like, you know, it's, or other people are advising me, you know, it's in this moment, it's not too far in the future, too far in the past. But, like, success, you know, you succeed when you figure out how to succeed and what success is. You can take a lot of time figuring out how to succeed immediately, you know, but the success is not the journey up to it. Like, the success is after you've done it, you know, like, but, you know, my point is, even though you can set up small successes along the way, but my point is, you know, I think the only type that would be really getting exactly where I'm coming from, first off, they have to have TI. Like, probably they have to consciously, you know, they have to have a preference for TI and NI, probably. Both those at the same time, which is why I was thinking, you know, ISTP or ESTP. But I think with an ISTP, it becomes like a pissing contest, and that's not the kind of motivation I need, or, you know, want, I should say. You know, I want someone to literally, like, you know, do the stuff with me, you know, do the thinking it out, building it, not like us arguing over who's going to build it and neither one of us building it, you know, like, which, granted, I could do it anyway, but then, you know, it's uneven. It's not a, you know, fair relationship, even though you should be complete with yourself, you know, like, in that same token, in that same sense, you know, if I have to get in super good shape to be with someone that's in super good shape, then fucking same thing, like, so, you know, has to be, you know, who else is going to really, you know, day to day, by my side, understand where I'm coming from, have the patience, and, like, you know, work towards something, and sacrifice, like, you know, what they see as their image simultaneously, you know, well, but, you know, like at ESTP, it doesn't have to be a sacrifice because it actually fits in with what they're doing, because, you know, they want new things to work on, you know, and what I've noticed, they enjoy like having someone with them there to, same thing, but on the other side, like having someone there to work on it with. Because ESTPs want to have fun. Like, they want to, like, do stuff with other people, and a lot of times they don't get to because other people don't have, like, don't get where they're coming from enough to get, like, why they're being, really excited and hyper or whatever about it. And then, whereas, like, I think, at least in my case, it's probably different each time, but at least in my case, I enjoy those things. Like, I think it's, fun and funny. So, like, whereas, other people might get tired by that, and that's, like, the reason I hear other people saying that, an ESTP and INTP relationship would be challenging or whatever, is, but wouldn't, the INTP, like, not want to go out and do the stuff. The reason the INTPs don't want to go out and do stuff is because the stuff that people go out to do isn't fun to them. And it's because it's probably, a bunch of, Capricorn or, like, TE-esque stuff that is, like, inherently, to me, the opposite of fun. Like, you having to, like, keep up, like, all these appearances and who's who and what's what, and then going through so much of that you don't even actually get to, like, do, like, if I go somewhere intending to, like, hang out with my friend and play, like, Super Smash Bros. Or something, for instance, I don't want there to be so much, like, talking and having to, like, meet with people and, like, other stuff going on that we only end up getting to play the game for, like, 5 minutes. Like, 10 or 15 minutes because, like, you have to go do something else. Or, and that goes for whatever it ends up being. I'm open to, like, a lot of different types of projects or stuff. I mean, of course, I'd prefer for it to be something that, I already know I have fun doing. But, like, I'm open to, like, other things. Like, given it's with the right person. I don't know. So, like, working on cars or anything that you would think that an INTP, like, wouldn't want to do. I'd actually love doing it if the person that I'm, doing that with isn't being a, dick about it. Which, I chose to be there, it's my fault, but, if you know ahead of time that that's someone you shouldn't go there and do that with, sure, but, like, if you don't know, I mean, I guess it's technically your fault because you were ignorant to it and didn't know, but, like, I don't know, if you don't know and you don't have a chance to know, but you have a chance to know because it's all inside of you, or whatever, but, like, you get what I'm saying? You like, like, if I go somewhere to do something, I want to do that and in depth. Not, like, kind of do it and not even really actually do it. But then I also think that, like, the, energy management of, like, the amount of time spent, like, for instance, like, I was just, like, when I'm helping people do yard work, and stuff, it's like everyone wants to get in there and show off like how much they can do right off the bat, and then they're tired in like 2 hours. Like, you know, whereas if you do like, you know, go at like a moderate pace, you actually get more done in the amount of time that you're out there. You might not like look as cool. People watching might be like, you know, fucking, you know, I don't know, hustle, like, you know, grab that, you know, throw it over here, whatever. But if you, like, the physical body has, like, literal, like, limitations to it. Even the people that are in shape, if you keep, like, rushing people like that, like, they're going to have a heart attack. Even, like, people, like, that are super, you know, fit and in shape and stuff. Like, one of my mom's, like, old boyfriends that did, like, you know, he was a painter, and he, like, took whole, like, houses apart and stuff, and he, you know, ran himself ragged. Everybody was like, you know, he's such a hard worker, but, you know, he had 4 heart attacks. Like, you know, oh, he's such a great worker, you know, but he's gonna be dead in like 10 years. Like, you know, so, you know, and I feel like an ESTP is that good combination of like working hard but working smart at the same time, like realizing that you, I mean, you could say that would be ISTP, but, or anyone can, but I'm saying in general, my experiences with each of the types so far, and whether it was me that influenced it or not, you know, you would think if everyone is thinking, you know, I'm the one that's doing it too slow, you know, if anything, I'm allowing people to have more of a chance to rest, because there's a lower standard of the amount of work that has to be done to show off, because there's the other guy that seems to not be doing as much work, so we can actually, like, you know, chill out a little bit more. Like, but I'm the one that is still working when it's like, you know, 10, 11, you know, midnight. I'm still, like, whether it's a game, and my momentum is continuously building. I'm not like, granted, I might have to take a break, but it's like when I go back, it's like a constant progression, like movement forward. It's not like, you know, I worked for 2 hours and I'm going to lose all the momentum and take a break for like 3 hours, and then like kind of like, you know, forget what I was doing, and then like fucking, you know, but, you know, I look cool because I was like doing a bunch of shit with when everybody else was doing it. Like, no. My priority is on actually accomplishing the fucking goal. Like, if I'm going to do something, I want to do it. Like, not bullshit about it. And I feel like it also probably takes an STP to understand my kind of, you know, brashness about that. You know, because like, I don't even know. These are reasons are, okay, and I'm going to go through other experiences, I guess, with other types. Um, in person, which again, it can be completely different depending on the person, but in person, like, people have suggested like an ENFJ. And in my experience, when I'm around, there's not even a way in. You know what I mean? There's like, which tells me that, okay, you're suggesting ENFJ, but like, would an ENFJ have any interest in doing things the same way that I'm thinking about doing them? That's probably why there's no way in, is because there's not a similar path. Like, and or just preferences in general. They I don't know. It's not the literal work getting done, but it's the perception of how the work should get done, I guess, is where the clash that happens with the ENFJs. And then, like, I don't know. In ENTP, it's like, it just never, like, it's like, I don't know, there's like some flirty stuff that happens, but then it just like doesn't ever turn into anything from after that. Like more and more like ideas shared, and like more it just like keeps going on, and then like, okay, when do we get to the like the purpose of this conversation? I don't know, like, we're just talking. I don't know, but anyway, so like, then fucking STJ isn't happening. Like, just, there's not even a beginning of a want, I think, on either side there. Maybe, yeah. On my side, I have no, so far, I haven't had any desire to get with any, like, STJ women. Just seems like the epitome of the kind of things that I don't want to be around, but like 24/7. So like, no. Yeah. So then ENTJ, I think I've said before, it just becomes like a, it's the, rivalry if it's a guy, but we're not talking about that. But like, if, and as a dating prospect, it's just like acquaintance pretty much every time. SFPs, like, it just seems like they always kind of just like want something from me. Like, kind of feels like that thing going on where it's like, and again, granted, take this with a grain of salt. Maybe it's something I'm doing, but it feels like what the feeling I get from it is, you know, ooh, the smart guy, like, he'll do my math for me. I don't know, like, kind of thing. Or, I'm going to school and he'll help me, like, do the, like, help me with my tests and stuff. And they're smart on their own. I think they just don't feel like doing it. But, then, like, SFJs, just, I'm not into the whole, like, being taken care of. Granted, there's probably, like, some, maybe more Aries, like, SFJs or something, but the ones I meet, they're usually more Cancerian, or, like, type 2s, or, like, which type 2 in itself isn't bad, but, just very, oh, poor baby, you got a cut, let me make sure you have a Band-Aid for it, like, and I'm not like, I don't know, not feeling that, and, like, and then the NFPs. INFP, maybe, but I don't see it like as odd as it seems. Like, I think, like, INFP would end up being like the fling thing. Like, I don't see that being like a long-term thing. And ENFPs, it's just kind of like weird friend zone territory. Like, I don't know, like, I'm attracted to them, I think because they're, a lot of times, the ones I meet are, like, a lot of them are, like, Libras, so, like, they're mirroring that back at me, but they're not actually, like, I don't know, they're being deceitful to mirror back, like, what I'm doing, or something. Mosquito just killed itself on my arm. Wonder what I did to cause that to happen. But, like, guess I shouldn't have had that Hawaiian puncher. That still too much sugar, I guess. Really am, like, eating healthier for the most part, but I don't know. There's a lot of those things in the cabinet that get me still. Sometimes, but I don't know, I'm at the point where I can definitely, like, stop. I just, like, sometimes still, like, treat myself to it, I guess, and I don't know. it's really about how much, right? And what's balancing to you and your opinion of it, but I could just be eating stuff that's healthier. But anyway, so taking, all that into account, it seems like, ESTP is really the only one that really makes sense, because they would be there, and then when they wanted to go do something, they could go do it, and they wouldn't get like super attached to or offended by me, going or not going in the first place, if that was even a thing. But I'd probably want to go most of the time, if not like all the time. So that negates the whole like, the INTP just wants to like stay in. So like they couldn't ever fit with an ESTP because they're super outgoing. And no, because like the ESTP has the FI polar. So they're going to be like checking in with how everybody's feeling, and like, come back and be like, if anything, figuring out how to take how I'm feeling and make it fit in with like what's happening, so that I can more easily be a part. The FI polar and the FE, and if you're more based around just like the forward function preference, you probably would say that's just the FE, but no, because you have ESFJs and ENFJs who are the fucking bomb diggity at feeling, that don't know how to make an INTP actually feel comfortable in a social situation, or like they'll prioritize. They won't actually get how you're, or I should say, they won't really have the technically, I don't want to use this word, so I'm not going to, because I don't even want to give that energy of that word. They won't genuinely have like the feeling of, why you're feeling a certain way as much as an ESTP does, or will. Because, as I said before, believe it or not, but when you can, at least from my perception as an INTP, my SE is in that same area. I'm SE polar, so I'm seeing the polar, the path of least resistance. Like, that's why extroverted sensing, that's what I'm watching, that's what I'm paying attention to.